stream up and running on YouTube as well. And as usual, once we get the show on the road, we'll lock the chat. We'll post all the official links for everybody to follow along. So I think
anyone's in from the FoodFi team, just raise your hand and I'll unmute you.
oh, I think Matthew just joined. Let me see.
Oh, and there's Joseph, I can see. Hi, Joseph.
Yeah.
Matthew, how's it going?
Thank you very much, guys, for having us here. Well, we're really excited for this opportunity. It's the first day of our fair lunch, so yeah, you can bet we are super excited. Our blood is rushing. Joseph just put the website link into the chat if everybody want to see it. Now, brother, I think that's your personal space.
Okay, awesome. Yeah,
website.
We will have links
And
to the socials.
and yeah, pretty good. How about you guys?
Good, Matthew and Joseph. Yeah, we will have links when we lock the chat. We'll post all your socials, the website, the Telegram, the Twitter, and I think we'll be linking the pre-sale as well on Pink Sale. It's live now. Okay, if you guys
I'm sorry, I think I didn't get your question. Could you repeat, please?
Yeah, I was just saying, when we start the AMA, the main chat's locked, and we'll have all your socials in there, the website, the Telegram.
Yeah.
Twitter, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
And I think we'll be linking the pre-sale as well, because that's live, yeah.
Perfect.
Hey guys, can you hear me clearly?
Hi, Joseph. Hi, Joseph. Yeah.
How are you doing, Glenn? I'm doing good, man. I'm super pumped to be here. We just finished our first AMA of the day with Venom, and yeah, it's good to be here, man.
Okay, great, guys. It's great to have you. If you're ready, I can start the recording, introduce you, and we can go into the FoodFi project.
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Welcome to the Wellcoin Talk community. I'm Glenn, your host. Today we have joining us FoodFi. FoodFi is the first eat-to-earn protocol encapsulating all things nutrition. We'll be going into that and more shortly. But first, can you introduce yourselves with your background and experience, Joseph and Matthew?
Absolutely. So I think I'm going to start, and then we'll have Matthew talk a little bit about himself as well.
Perfect.
So when it comes to me, for most of my career, actually, I've been involved in impact-focused private equity, more so in emerging markets. I do have experience in the restaurant industry, more specifically in the Caribbean, and I would say that my interest in conceptualizing FoodFi stems from my initial interest, that is emerging markets. Now, when it comes to crypto, I've mostly been staking on CurveDAO for quite a long time now. So that's where I've been a big player, I would say. Other than that, I am also an avid follower of the BSC community. So I'm always on par with whatever opportunities are presented to us. And this is actually our first project. We have built a core team with outside members, but when it comes to linking and taking advantage of the to-earn model, as well as SoFi, GameFi, and DeFi elements working together, I've reached out to Matthew, who's going to tell you how he's a key player basically in the nutrition aspect of this project.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much, Joe. So hi, I'm Matthew. As you've heard, Joseph is the kind of guy that I can put my finances in. I can trust him with it. For the team, I actually am the scientist. I'm an agronomical engineer with a master in human alimentary behaviors, and thanks to the collaboration, we are able to build a bridge between nutrition and Web3. And yeah, we the first eat to earn. Feels kind of blessed to be able to do that. And yeah, 1 year ago, I didn't know a lot about DeFi, but thanks to Joe and thanks to all the people he introduced me to, I've been able to learn a lot and to understand how we can make a project sustainable and sustainable for the market, but also sustainable for you.
Okay, thanks for the introduction, Joseph and Matthew. So for our community investors, can you give us an introduction to the FoodFi platform?
Joe, I think you can do it since you have the website. He might have an issue with his mic, but I'll jump in and he'll come back. He's going to give you the presentation of the website where you'll be able to find all the utilities. But I think I saw the screen moving. He might be here. He's looking. He's looking. Oh, I think he is.
Oh, I'm here. I'm here. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, now we can.
Okay, great. All right. So.
Rejoin.
All right. Well, I'm gonna hopefully give everyone an intricate overview of what we're doing here at FoodFi, and when it comes to malnutrition, it is actually the fourth largest global killer. So it would exceed smoking, diabetes, and obesity as well, even if not included. It really is a silent killer that a lot of people tend to overlook, and the opportunity to actually tackle this issue via a to-earn model through financial incentivization is an opportunity that we've seized, and we've come up with the first eat-to-earn protocol. Now I'm going to jump into the actual features of what we're doing. So I would say the hallmark of the ecosystem is our calorie tracking mechanism. This is a highly customizable feature that allows users to track their caloric intake, to track their macronutrient intake, as well as set calorie goals for the day. So essentially, it targets a vast target audience, basically, and pretty much the way that it works is that for every meal that is tracked, you would be rewarded with EAT tokens. It is important not to confuse with the idea that the more calories you consume, the more you get rewarded. That's not how it works. You get rewarded for every meal that is tracked, depending on your own preferences. Very similar, but also very different. We have the food log feature that is specifically tailored towards individuals that are struggling with dietary disorders. So what does that exactly mean? Basically, the food log feature provides an array of 10 different emotions because we know that there's quite a few people that are not always comfortable with tracking their caloric intake, so they can actually use these 10 different emotions to grade their, I would say, emotional feel in regards to their nutritional habits. On the long run, it allows you to track your emotional progression, and it induces mindfulness, I would say. So same mechanism here. For every meal that is tracked on the food log, you would be able to earn EAT tokens. The next feature, which is also quite interesting, is the Eat Out to Earn protocol. A lot of people like to call it the Visit to Earn as well, but this is coming later on, and the reason we're doing it this way is because we're waiting to build a solid user base first. So we're operating on a business-to-business model here, where we link our consumer base to restaurants, and you would actually have to physically navigate to Eat Out, and then you would earn EAT tokens. This is an opportunity for restaurants to gamify their business operations. It's a new concept, and it's definitely something to look into that's quite interesting. It's also an opportunity for them in general to have further foot traffic. When it comes to this business model, it is going to be ran on a listing process where approved restaurants will actually pay a monthly subscription for us to generate further revenue. So we're going to get more into this, but yeah, these are pretty much the three main components that have created basically the first Eat to Earn protocol. And then when it comes to the reward system as well as the capping of meals, we've included two types of NFTs, which are essentially, I would say, the core of our GameFi system. So our NFTs are in 5 different levels. We have mythical, platinum, gold, silver, and bronze. The first type of NFTs are meal NFTs, which you can view here as well as on our Dapp. That is already live, so you can check that out as well. Essentially, meal NFTs allow you to track a certain number of meals per day, the highest being 5, and then we have 4, 3, 2, 1. Bronze is a bit of an entry level, I would say. The supply for these is 250 for now, and it's the same supply for equipment NFTs, except that they serve a different function. The goal here for them is to actually accelerate EAT rewards depending on the meals that are consumed. So they act as a multiplier effect. The highest one being 1.5x and the lowest one being 1.1x. So depending on the one that you possess, you would increase your EAT rewards per meal that is tracked as well. Important to mention, these NFTs are actually running on Ethereum, so we're bridging between the two. It's pretty much because it has become abundantly clear to us and our team that basically there is a lack of sustainable and high quality marketplaces on BSC, so the NFT lives are usually short-lived. We are going to be taking advantage of the high conversion rate of the Ethereum community as well, so it's also helping us solidify sort of that mainstream push, but it's also allowing basically investors to use OpenSea as a leader in the market and pretty much take advantage of the very liquid marketplace that it is. We also have staking and farming, which we're going to be getting into once we cover our Dapp. And then, yeah, this is pretty much a brief explanation of our background. We're also looking further down our roadmap to migrate towards Polygon. This is quite interesting because we've chosen a community with numerous use cases, but I think right now there's 39,000 dApps that are built on Polygon, so it would be the second most after Ethereum. So there's definitely a high conversion rate community there, and it's definitely a market segment where we're looking to migrate to. I would also like to add that at the end of the day, on the long term, it is quite necessary for an ecosystem to be operating on a multi-chain. So yeah, I think that gives us a pretty solid introduction of our project. And yeah, if Matthew has anything to add as well, that would be great.
No, honestly, brother, I think you did an extremely great explanation. No, I think we can move on.
Okay, great, Joe. I think that's a great introduction. I was wondering what you're going to support on the platform. I mean, like you say, malnutrition, eating disorders, diabetes, gluten intolerance, celiac disease, vegan, vegetarian diets. You're going to look to incorporate all these into the FoodFi platform.
All right. Well, we do have a database. I believe it is the FOA database. Matthew has specifically selected it. And the way that the mechanism right now on the app, when it comes to allowing people to actually, or more so to incentivize them to pursue proper dietary habits, the system is actually able to consider the nutritional values of the FOA database in terms of that and the macronutrient value as well. Depending on the caloric goal of the individual, it would actually suggest nutrients that are suitable in that regard. So this is what makes it quite customizable, I would say. And then more specifically for people that I would say maybe are suffering from anorexia amongst other diseases, usually calorie tracking is not something that is very appealing to them. So the food log feature, which has actually been proven to be successful in previous nutritional disorder apps, allows them to become more mindful and essentially track their emotional progression. Matthew, if you want to get more in detail when it comes to the database, I think that would be great.
Yeah, okay, brother. Well, as he said, we're using worldwide known database to make sure that we have the most transparency and precision on the information that we provide to you. The two most important ones are the FAO. You misspelled it, brother. The FAO, which is the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, and the EFSA, the European Food Safety Authority. So thanks to that, we are able to have the best information possible. Regarding the food log, I would say that today, a situation where we are able to provide an emotional spectrum to people can make them learn more about their daily habits, not about what you prefer, what you don't like to eat, but more why do you eat this type of food at a certain times. When I gave this example to Venom a few hours ago, but when you for example when you are sad, you might be able to not eat that much. For example, in people like myself, when I'm stressed, I'm not able to eat. And having a spectrum, and the sorry, on the other hand, when I'm happy, I'm able to eat the whole restaurant. So thanks to your spectrum, you'll be able to understand more about how you eat, when and why. And thanks to FoodFi, you'll understand how to correct that.
Great, Matthew. Yeah, I was wondering if you're going to introduce like cooking videos and special diets, to sort of educate people with different.
Oh yeah, of course, of
Things
course.
like
Well,
that.
that's mostly focused on our midterm. We are on the platform. We'll be having guests such as, well, mostly related to nutrition, which means athletes, and we'll have chefs also. Um, so we'll be able to provide this type of intellectual content. On the other side, since we be promoting to users, since every experience is unique, we'll be able to provide to each users what type of food they should be eating to complete their diet or to increase certain specific parameter. And yeah, I think we will be able to provide even further the line, when the further the road, sorry, how to cook it, or why, or how to integrate into your meal.
Yeah, my mum's got gluten intolerance, and I think in the UK, like 20% of people are gluten intolerant now and lactose intolerant. So it'd be great to educate them on what's gluten free, how they can sort of build their diet. And
Definitely,
ticks.
you're
I think
absolutely right.
40% of the Americans are diabetic, so they have to sort of take care with what they eat. Let's move on to you've got the meal NFTs and the equipment NFTs. How does that work? How much will they cost to mint? And you're only going to do 250 of each, did you say?
Oh yeah. Well, we're gonna be doing 250 each, so there's a total supply of 500. The mint price is going to be set at 0.2 ETH. And the minting event is going to happen post launch, once there is an official date for the app going live on Apple Store as well as Google Play. So once we have that in hand, it's going to happen 10 days before. That's going to allow us the spare time to stimulate community engagement. So for those of you who want to tune in when it comes to that, it's going to be a minting price of 0.2 ETH.
Okay, I see. And so officially, is it going to be 250 or 500 that will be in the Eat to Earn program? And I'm wondering, are you going to expand that in the future? Are you going to take the NFTs up cross-chain, multi-chain in the future as well?
Well, the reason we've decided to go with 250 each, so 250 meals and 250 equipment, is because we firstly have to test the I would say GameFi system of this project in real time. It's also going to give us an opportunity to reward investors, because really the way that we want you to think about our NFT integration is let's say this is season one, so the earliest supporters are always going to be rewarded, and they're always going to capitalize off the most rewards. A great point was actually brought up at the Venom AMA, where someone said, do you consider rewarding the most frequent users? So we're taking that route as well. But once the system is actually performant in real life, in app, we're going to be expanding on that. And one of the key elements to that is also going to be the migration towards Polygon.
Okay, I see, Joseph and Matthew. And also, you're going to have restaurant reviews on the app, but you were saying you were going to charge them a monthly fee. Will it be a bit like TripAdvisor? But I'm not sure TripAdvisor charges to tell you scores and ratings for local restaurants to eat at.
Well, I mean, the reason we're doing it is because we are actually vetting these restaurants, and the goal is to incentivize our user base to actually eat out at places that are sustainable. Matthew has a lot of details when it comes to the supply chain, as well as a lot of these factors that are going to be considered when it comes to selecting these restaurants. So because they are listed and they're suggested to our user base, it's an opportunity as to add that gamification to their business, especially when it comes to generating their own foot traffic. So yeah, it's pretty much a subscription fee to be on there and gain that exposure.
If I may add something to that, sorry, Glenn, to interrupt you, but we are not focused on the ratings and when to promote the restaurants. It's more of well, it's as Joe said, it's a subscription model where restaurants will be able to integrate it, and will be partnershipping with them. So when our users go to that restaurant, they'll be able to earn EAT. Now, I don't think we mentioned it yet, but the team is from Paris. We're looking at there, and for well, if you ever been there, you can see that there's restaurants everywhere, even at that point where the market is saturated. So at FoodFi, we provide them a solution to gain some traffic and to stand out a bit of the crowd. Since it is a deal on our end, we make sure that we are able to provide EAT to the users when they go there, and since it's a subscription model, we're able to introduce new liquidity into the system every month to make sure that we can improve ourselves on the marketing, on the development everywhere.
Awesome, Joseph and Matthew. And yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit. You could have, a social media aspect to it where vegetarians, vegans, diabetics could have maybe chat rooms that they could talk in, about their diets and how
exactly
they
having people following workouts and showing the results. You're absolutely right. Since we are a project based on the community, we want to make sure that we can provide a way for them to interact together and to share their progress.
Yeah, and so how does the eat to earn aspect? I was looking at the white paper, and it's like burn eat for energy to eat to earn. So each 24 hours you would burn some tokens as well.
Absolutely.
Well, Joe can show the white paper with your screen.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you very much.
Let me just bring the part where we covered the reward system. Yeah, so it's pretty much here. These are actually based on our rewards as well as our locked rewards in terms of the supply. So we did outsource an expert in tokenomics to ensure the sustainability of our reward system, and essentially it is a sticking point for a lot of to earns that have previously launched, because a lot of the rewards are completely, I would say, draining the liquidity. So it's not something that we've I mean, it is something that we've taken into account, And essentially, this is how much you would be earning depending on the meal NFT that you possess. And these are the official multiplier numbers as well.
Okay, I see. And you're going to have staking and farming on the platform as well. How will that work for investors?
Absolutely. So you can earn up to 220% APY. That would be on a 90-day lock period. We have staking and farming pools. So the lock periods that we have are 30 days and 60 days. I've just said also 90 days. 30 days would be 18% APR. I believe, let me just bring it up on the Dapp. A 60-day lock period is 21% APR, and a 90-day lock period would provide you with 23% APR. So at most, it is a 220% APY. It is a still attractive number in terms of the reward system. However, it's not pushing towards that boundary of unsustainability as well.
I think someone just opened their webcam there by accident. But yeah, let's go on to the tokenomics breakdown and the buy and sell tax. How does that work for the project?
Absolutely. Let me just bring it up. All right, so here are basically our token metrics. So we have 15% allocated to the liquidity. 35% is actually locked right now. 6% of the rewards are also unlocked because they're going to be used right at launch for this once the staking and farming goes live. 4% of these are allocated to staking and farming, and 2% are going to be allocated to the eat to earn mechanism, which is already also live on our Dapp. Now, as you all know, we have a SafeU badge. So we're complying with the conditions, and essentially right now what we're working out is we have 17% of the rewards that are also locked. They're going to be vested gradually following the first month. Basically, we're going to work that out with our SafeU developers. So just to make sure there are no dumps as well. In terms of the pre-sale, 25% of the tokens are allocated. For team vesting, we have 2% right now, which is currently locked. This would mainly go towards centralized exchanges, to be perfectly honest with you. And then we have also our liquidity is locked up for a very, very long time. We have a 900-day lock period, and 2% buy and sell taxes that are going straight to the liquidity. I would also encourage everyone to actually verify that on our smart contract. So very low buy and sell, always generating liquidity into the system. And when it comes to our total supply, we do have a total supply of 1 billion, which is a pretty solid number for a to-earn model. Because we do not have minting functions enabled, we cannot add or we basically can't add additional tokens. So in order for basically any to-earn model to be sustainable on the long run, there has to be an ample amount of token supply. So this is what we're rolling with when it comes to our tokenomics.
Okay, great, Joseph and Matthew. And let's move on to the smart contract. Have you had an audit on the smart contract before the launch?
Yes, absolutely. So we're actually audited by InterFi. They're verified by PinkSale, and essentially, basically, Trinos, who's our SafeU developer, has actually written the contract, and he currently retains the ownership until 15 days post-launch, which is why we have guaranteed that we comply also with the SafeU conditions, and every function that is going to be enabled in the contracts post-launch is going to be supervised by the SafeU developers. So everything is going to go according to our plan, and yeah.
Awesome, guys. And what's the timeline for the app launching on Android and iOS?
All right, so right now the app is still in beta testing. Our goal is maybe to launch, I think, the first Friday of October. I think it's, wait, let me just check, because these are the latest updates from Usman. Yeah, it's actually a Saturday. Sorry, it's the first Saturday of October. We're gearing up towards. We actually have to apply. There shouldn't be any issues because we do not allow digital asset trading directly in app, which is sometimes an issue when it comes to a lot of these to earn projects, and a lot of people don't get approval because of that. So we've made sure everything is done accordingly, and hopefully we're going to be seeing it on the first Saturday of October. Also because it's going to give us that opportunity to trend on Google Play and iOS stores as well. And most people are going to be free, hopefully. So yeah.
It's great, Joseph and Matthew. And is it internal devs that are making the platform, or have you outsourced this app?
All right. Well, when it comes to the development of the smart contracts before they were actually reviewed by Trinos, everything was done in house. So we have our senior developer James from BlockTech, but he's not really on Telegram. However, Usman, who specializes on Solidity, is, so you can reach out to him for any questions. So yes, all the contracts were written in-house, as well as all the team from BlockTech, basically, who joined us on board, and they're also developing our mobile app. For those of you that are inquiring about the front end, the goal here is to provide a humanized experience for users to interact with the smart contract. So it really is an interface to actually interact with it. No structures are defined, and there's no data storage. It's really just a humanized tool to also push, I would say, mainstream individuals to actually interact with our smart contract and begin exploring DeFi, SoFi, and GameFi elements. So yeah.
I see, guys. And what's the plans with the NFTs as you expand them? Whereabouts is the profits going to go? Are you going to do buyback and burns? Is some of it for marketing, expanding the app on the iOS and Android?
Yeah, when it comes to our NFTs, we actually have a 5% royalty, which is going to be allocated for liquidity as well as allocated for basically the development of the project. We're trying to get as many centralized exchanges as possible because at the end of the day, this is what most people are looking for. So yeah. And I would also like to add that we're in talks right now with Bitmart, specifically Bitmart Jerry. You can verify that because we're working out a basically a listing quite soon after launch. So he's our senior listing officer, and we're currently in the legal registration phase. So a lot of the revenue is going to go towards pushing that mainstream adoption. There's also a lot of partnerships that we're looking to get into as well. Yesterday we actually had a Twitter space with quite a lot of people. There was Radio Shack there, and he reached out to us on Twitter, and we're also trying to work out a decentralized exchange on his platform. We'll have to see how we'll unlock the liquidity gradually for that, but yeah, we're gearing up towards a lot of partnerships right now.
Yeah, so you're networking and looking to build partnerships with the FoodFi project going forward in the future.
Absolutely.
And so let's go into marketing. What's planned for the first quarter to get the FoodFi app out there, support the token? What you're sort of planning around the marketing side?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, there's a ton of things that are planned in regards to marketing. One of the reasons why we're specifically partnering with Bitmart is because they're actually launching their own customized marketing campaign for us. They have a reach of over 9 million investors. There's, I believe, 600,000 daily active investors. So it's really going to shed light on the project. And post-launch, this is really what we're doing. Right now, I believe this is our 13th or maybe 14th AMA. So we're reaching out everywhere on Telegram to the BSC community to get to know us. There's a lot of people that are waiting to get on board. So yeah. Other than that, there's been tons of giveaways, especially on Twitter as well as on our Telegram group. Um, so this is what we're doing in terms of marketing. Post launch, we're also considering strategic partnerships. Um, Apart from the ones I've listed here, there's also been an NFT collection actually focusing on women empowerment that has reached out to us in our Twitter space with Matt Wallace. I can't exactly remember the name. It was a bit difficult to remember, but that's also something that we're doing. We're gearing up with other projects as well. And other than that, we're also really focused on the functionality of the mobile app, because this is truly what's going to set the tone for real partnerships. Obviously, if the app is functional, it's going to attract these partnerships that the community desires as well as us. So this is really our main focus right now.
Awesome, Joseph and Matthew. Let's open it up to the rest of the team if anyone's got a question for the FoodFi project. CEO here, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey Glenn, I've been listening and it sounds amazing. I know when first you hear FoodFi, you're thinking, oh, they're tracking the more you eat, the more you earn, but it's definitely not that. You're basically getting. I just wanted to make the point clear. Some people kind of see it and try to shun it, but you're basically getting rewarded for your user data, right? For just keeping track of the daily activity that you would already be doing. So I think it's a great model to go on. And you were talking there and I saw that there are also some tiers. So I don't know if you've talked about this, but how can users actually increase their tiers? Is it like the more you track, the more you increase your tiers? Is it another form of engagement, or how does that work?
All right. Well, that's a great question, man. That's actually a great question. We've had a very similar question with a previous AMA with Venom, and a lot of people are quite fond of the idea of actually the more you actually are consistent with the app, the more you track your caloric intake, etc., you would be further rewarded, and it would increase, so to speak, your status on our app. Right now, we haven't put that system in place, but it is definitely something that we're considering, because the more AMAs we do, the more questions we get, the more people are suggesting it. At the end of the day, we are the first investors on this project, as everything that you see right now, especially our Dapp, it's live. Everything has been financed by us. We didn't have any VC funding or private sales. So we are the first investors, and we're part of the community. So the more the community grows, the more suggestions are going to be made. And yeah, this is the goal, basically. We're looking to develop on this, and it makes total sense to reward the most frequent users. So good question, man, and it's definitely something that we're considering.
Yeah, it sounds good, because that's what you want, people using an app because it's cool, because it's giving them some useful information. At the same time, they're getting rewarded. So it can be appealing to not just crypto users, but everyday users. It can be downloaded by people that have no idea about DeFi. So it's great. And then you're getting all these data from people, and I'm wondering, are you gonna compile this data in some form of statistics? Is it gonna be like open to the public to show, look, these people are using it, and we've managed to, I don't know, help out people with such and such conditions or anything like that? Or
That's also a very good question. It reminds me of an article that I read yesterday. So you've got a lot of at least here in Paris, there's a lot of dark kitchens. I don't know if you heard of dark kitchens, but what they do is they basically don't have a restaurant service. They apply for listing on Uber Eats and other huge, basically food delivery apps. So who's getting the data? So it's these big fish that are getting the data. They know who orders what, where, at what price point, and they're able to actually later on make extremely competitive dark kitchens that are going to suggest at a specific price point in certain areas what the person would like to consume. In that regard, the idea of data storage is very interesting. It can be used in both good and bad ways. But for the most part, it's beneficial to the user base. It allows for an increasingly more customizable experience. But the thing right now is, on the front end side of things, as I've mentioned, there's actually no data storage, and there's no structures that are really defined. the goal right now is really to interact with the smart contract in a humanized way. So apart from the AI learning of the database, which provides adequate suggestions, we do not store the data of users. And yeah, but it's definitely something that we could look into. Obviously, it would be quite later on when we reach that mainstream sort of recognition. But yeah, good question.
Yeah, I think it's a good way of going about it. Waiting and see it how it goes, and if there's a demand, sure, I guess you can rise to the occasion and meet it. So just one more thing from me. You've been mentioning the Dapp and talking about it. Since you have the shared screen and everything, can you show us like a little bit of what's available and what can you do with it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Let me just bring it up. So this is our Dapp. We've basically got a bunch of information here that's going to be available post-launch in terms of total value locked, as well as our chart and the eat reward distribution. I would say what attracts quite a lot of people is here the start tracking. So I would click here, start tracking, right? So here I actually have the number of days, my macronutrients, as well as our carbs, and the calories that have been consumed. Right now, it is not customizable to my preferences, so it provides standard metric recommendations. I would click here. Let's say I've just had breakfast. Add breakfast. Um, let's say I had. See, now it says stake your eat or mint your NFT meals and equipment to access the calorie tracking process. The reason being is essentially because um, we want to encourage actual believers in the project, actual liquidity providers. It's going to prevent cash grabs on the short term. It's going to prevent dumping of rewards and people that are really just taking advantage of the system. So you would have to stake a minimum amount of 0.5 BNB in terms of ETH. This is actually going to be determined by the end of our fair launch. So the current rate is going to be automatically defined, and that number of tokens is going to be used as a metric to actually become an eligible users of the eat to earn mechanism, awaiting our the full launch of our mobile app. So yeah.
Yeah, sounds nice. Sounds good. And that's another thing that maybe I missed. But yeah, so in order to use and earn, you actually have to participate by staking, right? So you're not just going out there giving out free tokens to everybody. Yeah. So it's a very healthy way of going about it. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks, mate.
Questions actually. I was wondering, you've got protein, fat, carbs, and calorie intake there. I'm wondering if you're going to expand that into vitamins and minerals as well for each type of food that people have.
So on the app, we do have vitamins, but we do not have minerals available. The system on this Eat to Earn is actually different from the one on the mobile app. This one is currently run on an admin panel, so it's a little bit similar, I would say, to a multi-signature wallet, where the admin would have to actually approve meals. There shouldn't be an issue with it unless maybe outrageous meals are entered into the system. But this is real. This mechanism allows people that are impatient to basically smoothly transition from this one to the one on the actual app. And we could definitely. I don't think it's definitely not a challenge. I think for to actually add minerals, it shouldn't be an issue at all.
Awesome, great. Let's open it up to the community investors. Let's see, Syed, you had a question for Joseph or Matthew here at FoodFi Project. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn. Okay, so you mentioned about FoodFi Eat Out to Earn feature where users will earn Eat token by selecting a restaurant within their radius and reaching there. So I was wondering, will users be rewarded any extra token for selecting healthy restaurants within their mile radius as compared to fast food chains? How will that work?
All right. Well, that makes a lot of sense actually, but it would be pretty paradoxical for us to incentivize people to pursue better dietary habits and then suggest fast food chains. So when it comes to that, we're not offering anything that's that's unhealthy, or that would actually promote the opposite of the business model. And Matthew is definitely more qualified than me to develop on the actual vetting process.
Thank you very much, sir. I was doing a little paperwork. So about the restaurants, yeah, we know, and we want to put the community in our heart, and we want to make sure that we provide to you the best services possible. Now, regarding the restaurants, we decided to select them on a few criteria, such as the price that you would be paying, the transparency of their products, if we can track the supply chain, if we can, if when you eat something, you can know the origins of it. We decided to create partnerships with them. I don't remember if we called it yet during this AMA, but the team are from Paris. We are in Paris, and if you have ever been there, you know that restaurants are a saturated market. There's too much restaurants, and people don't know where to eat. So they're losing consumers. And thanks to FoodFi, we provide to them the solution to attract new consumers. And in my opinion, it's a win-win situation for them. They get new consumers, they can stay, they can continue their business. That's post-pandemic economy. And from our end, our users get paid, and we receive a monthly fee from them that can be incorporated into our business, whether as marketing or which pole needs or can be improved.
Okay, got it. Thank you for explaining that. Okay, final question. So I have read on your white paper that your mobile app will also going to have a sports section, linking users to the wide range of the medical professionals tailored to the user's needs. So I was just curious that will you be linking the users to any online third-party medical professional platform, or you will going to have your own medical professionals or nutritionists on board with you?
Oh yeah, well, just one thing that's very important to clarify is that we're actually a health management app, so we do not have medical implications, and we do not have the right to give people medical advice. Just the same way that we don't have the right to give people financial advice. Everyone has heard this before, especially on these panels. Obviously, people are not giving you financial advice. Same thing goes for medical advice. Now, what we can do, on the other hand, is actually provide a helping hand. We can only suggest third parties that are online in our Get Support section for people that would require them. And just having it there, just having that in front of your eyes for people that are hesitant can sometimes actually push them to actually get help, especially if they're encouraged to do so. So that's pretty much what that section is about. When it comes, you've mentioned something about sports. You may have confused it with the equipment NFTs that are tied to health and fitness. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, man.
Yeah, got it. Thank you for clearing that up. Thank you so much. Over to you, Glenn.
Of course, man.
Okay. Thank you for the question, sir. Yeah, I was wondering as well, my fiance's on a diet. Would she be able to log on, and are you going to plan like meal planners for people who need to lose weight and get healthy?
All right, cool.
I was wondering if you're going to actually do meal planners, for people if they were on a diet or needed special dietary sort of plans, or are you going to incorporate that into a tutorial on where you can get help if you're diabetic or on a diet, or things like that for other companies?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. The first time I didn't quite hear you well. I'm gonna answer that question in two parts. So because the calorie tracking mechanism is actually highly customizable, as I've said, what the system can do is learn from standard metrics, and depending on the caloric goal that is set by the user, so you would actually have to set that yourself, you would get adequate recommendations, taking in consideration what is considered to be healthy in terms of your macronutrient intake. So this wouldn't encapsulate things like people that have, I would say, insulin resistance or specific requirements for now. So that would have to be managed by the user themselves. But there are basically standard metrics that allow you to optimize basically your caloric intake if not already completed with viable suggestions.
Yeah, I see, Joseph. Great. Let's go back to community investor questions. Let's see. Western Beast, you had a question for Joseph or Matthew here at FoodFi Project.
Yeah, thanks, Glenn. All right. I actually heard the fact that you already mentioned you won't be giving out medical advice, any form of medical advice. You can
No,
only
we
give suggestions. You can only give suggestions. One of my doctor's appointments that I actually had, they said that I couldn't eat because I was under a lot of stress. Now, I wanted asking, as soon as I open this application that is in development, will it ask me maybe a few questions about myself based on the kind of activities I perform, so that it can suggest the kind of food and the kind of nutritional value food I get to eat?
All right. Well, you would not specifically be asked questions when it comes to your own dietary habits, because this would actually fall into the category, I would say, of providing medical advice. But the app allows you to actually log in your BMI, as well as your weight and your height. So these are metrics that you can actually use. This is a very similar model to MyFitnessPal, and it's been proven to be quite successful before. So when it comes to maybe the fact that you're having issues in terms of stress, etc., we can't really help you with this because we're not medical professionals. But you can actually customize it with a few adjustments on your end to take advantage of the app. And the goal really is the more you use it, the more frequently you use it, you inherently get more rewarded. So in that aspect, you are still exercising nutritional mindfulness, and you're also getting rewarded for it. So yeah.
Okay, I think I get it now. All right, so I heard you also said you're actually based in Paris. As you expand to other geographical zones that actually have a lot of restaurants, I think some Asian countries actually do have restaurants as one of their strong economic. Would you be making changes to the kind of requirements that will be met? I think I heard one of them. You said that you have to be tracing. The restaurant has to agree to let you trace where their foods come from. Would there be any changes based on geographic regions with time as you expand?
I
Okay.
maybe I can take it from here for
Yeah,
this
go
one.
ahead. Go ahead, Matt.
Thank you, Joe. Well, you're actually right. Today, we are only focused on developed countries' restaurants, which is where we can find more information. I mean, in the US, in France, we are able to track the the blockchain, the supply chain. Sorry, thanks to the blockchain here in Europe. Now, when it comes to developing countries, you said it's well, if for example we want to implement it ourselves into India, we'll have different choices. We can send people to see the whole process and to understand the whole, well, how they work and how they get their food. That might be a bit costly, and I don't think that it'd be very budget efficient. Now, since we are still a community, we will be driven by them. If, for example, we have a strong community in India that pushes the project and suggests certain restaurants, we might be able to introduce the restaurants into let's say, a more bendable contract.
I get it now. Here's my final question. Um, will you at some point be using your ETH token as a main exchange? I saw in your white paper that you want to be as much as possible integrate the adoption of blockchain. And in my opinion, you already made mention of some partner restaurants that you happen to work with. Maybe those partner restaurants happen to offer some kind of discount that will be paid if the person is eating a meal is an active participant on the FoodFi project. Maybe use the tokens as an assisted form of payment, because I think this is some form of adoption that these restaurants can take, as you mentioned in your white paper.
All right, that's actually a great point that you have here. I mean, on the very long term, it is definitely a possibility. We don't have an aspect in our white paper which covers restaurants being actually paid with EAT or using it as a discount. But this is actually a great point that you brought up. So you also have to note right now that in order to first of all enable the eat out to earn protocol, we need a solid user base. So we're focusing on that. Once we have that, which I like to say that the first utility of any project is firstly the community. Without the community, there's no usefulness from the utility. So the first utility is actually the community. Once the community is there, especially linking the community to restaurants, in that case, our user base, the possibilities are limitless. I could go over the aspect that you just covered. I could also maybe consider a referral system based in our app. So the possibilities are huge. But before we actually dive into this, we first need a solid user base, and it's starting on our Dapp, as you can see. So right off the bat, we're doing this, and yeah, our goal is to strengthen our user base as much as possible. Then we'll be geared up towards new heights, basically.
I get it now. Thank you very much for answering my questions. I'm
Absolutely.
really wishing you guys the best. Over to you, Glenn.
Thank you for the questions, Western Bees. And I was wondering, what's the T's and C's of using the app? Are you looking to anonymously sell to third parties information that's collected on the FoodFi app?
Absolutely not. This is we are not selling data. Obviously, on the front end development of the app, as well as on the front end development of our Dapp, there's no data storage. You would have to define structures for that. When it comes to how it specifically works in terms of defining structures, I would suggest anyone reach out to Usman, because he's definitely more qualified than me to answer that. I'm not a front end developer, but I am the project co-founder along with Matt. So yeah, there's no data storage, and the privacy of users is going to be kept at all times.
Okay, great. Let's move on to Aisha. You had a question for Joseph and Matthew at FoodFi Project. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Glenn. I was thinking, will FoodFi app be compatible with fitness devices so it can also take into consideration calories burned per user through workout and exercises? And will app also show how much weight one is gaining or losing per day?
All right, that's a great question. Well, in short, no, we're not going to be showing users how many calories they've burned, or basically displaying how much weight has been gained or lost. Right now, the app is not compatible with fitness devices, so we're really staying in the lane of the nutritional sector, because there's already limitless potential that we can do here. Once too many factors are taken in consideration, especially at this current stage, there's you have to focus on one thing, you have to master one thing, and our thing is nutrition. We're going to stay on that lane. So yeah, as I said, in short, no, we're not going to be diving into a sort of more fitness related features.
Understood. I was wondering, do you have any plan of creating awareness about eating disorders and malnutrition in developing countries as well? And will you be making donations to any charities working for the same cause as you?
Absolutely. Well, Matt has actually been working on a paper, I believe, on the alimentary transition in the under part of the globe, if I'm correct. So, Matt, that's definitely a question for you, man.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, I think it is quite interesting, and we might be able to link it to the question about the implementation of restaurants from other countries. Now, let me think a bit. Hmm. Could you repeat the question, please, so I make sure I give you the right answer?
Yeah, sure. I've asked that, do you have any plan of creating awareness about eating disorders and malnutrition in developing countries as well? And will you be making donations to any charities working for the same cause as you are working?
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you very much. Well, for the first part of your question, I would say that yes, we want to make sure to educate people on those matters. As Joe said, I've been working on a paper regarding the alimentary transition in the other part of the globe. And we had a focus on Malaysia. Malaysia has been improving themselves from the past few years. It's amazing how they did it, and we've seen modifications into people's diet, and I think that what FoodFi is mainly about, trying to teach people how to eat, what to eat at certain times, um, and the benefits from it. Now, for the second part of your question, if we are going to help charities, I think that it is always beneficial for us to do that. We're promoting their work. Right now isn't when we'll be doing it. We're more focused on building ourselves and creating FoodFi. But tomorrow we'll definitely give financial help to those in matters.
Got it. That makes sense. Thank you. Thank you so much for answering.
Thank you, Aisha, for your question.
Okay, thank you for the questions, Aisha. Unfortunately, we've run out of time today. It's been great speaking to Joseph and Matthew and FoodFi project. It's a really great idea. It's a great concept, and I'm excited for the future for the team and community. As we always say, Wellcoin Talks for research and educational purposes. It's not financial advice, but you can check out the website, the white paper, and the official socials are in our main chat. So I would advise the community investors to check out the white paper website if you like what you see. There's also a link to the pre-sale now where you can get involved on Pink Sale. It's going for another 2 days, I think. So there's plenty of time to do your research and get involved. Thank you very much for coming today, Joseph and Matthew. It's been great speaking to you.
Likewise, Glenn. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. Yeah, I just appreciate it, to be honest, to shed light a little bit about our project to everyone. And yeah, I encourage everyone to actually look at our white paper website. Our fair launch is currently live. It has just begun. There's plenty of time left to get involved. So yeah, and join our Telegram as well. Beware of phishing websites as well as people asking you to send funds to whatever address. We're obviously never going to DM you first. And yeah, that's about it on my end.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
well, oh, sorry, Glenn, go on.
So, yeah, I think we've got spin the wheel as well for 2 lucky winners. But yeah, go ahead, Matthew.
Well, I just want to thank you very much. So it was really pleasant to see you. I hope that we answered most of everyone's questions. If not, you can join us on our Telegram. We'll be answering them directly to you. Um, so yeah, we're really pleasant time. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. And I'm not sure if Act is there to do spin the wheel for 2 lucky winners.
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know if you can hear me now, Glenn.
Yeah,
I'll try
I can,
sharing
yeah.
my screen again with the wheel for everybody to see. Is it up now?
I can see that, yeah.
All right. Okay, so let me spin it twice for 2 lucky winners for $50 each. And First winner, congratulations. I'll grab your IDs here, guys, and we'll DM you for your wallets, and we'll send over the prizes. And I'll shuffle it again and get one more winner here. So thank you everybody for coming today, and thank you to the team from FoodFi. It's definitely something really exciting. It's like Glenn said, it's an interesting approach, and the possibilities are limitless where you can take this, and a lot of opportunity for sure. So make sure to just check out the official website. You know, if you still have questions, all the links are right there in our main chat. So if you want to learn more, just head over to the Telegram. I'm sure there'll be somebody there to answer any and all of your questions. And the pre-sale link is also in the main chat as well. So thank you everybody for participating. Thank you for all the questions, and thank you to the team for being here with us. It's really been awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Matthew and Joseph. And I'll finish the record and send a copy over for you to share with your community. I'll send that into the main chat for any of our community investors that couldn't join the call today.
All right. Well, once again, thank you guys. Thank you, Glenn, for having us. It was a great AMA, and we look forward to seeing everyone on board.
Thank you very much, guys, and take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.